Namaste Vidya, myself JVN Neha Saini from Faculty of Physiotherapy and Diagnostics, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Here I am going to tell you about the anatomy of the pancreas. The pancreas is a soft, finely lobulated, elongated exo as well as endocrine gland. The exocrine part of this gland secretes pancreatic juice and the endocrine part secretes the hormones like insulin. The pancreas is originated from a Greek word pan, all. Pan means all, krias means fat. So, because of its structure, it is almost appear fleshy. That is why it is known as pancreas. So, the pancreatic juice helps in digestion of various food particles, and these pancreas lies located or more horizontally on the posterior abdominal wall in the epigastric and left hypochondric regions. The epigastric and the left hypochondric regions, these are the regions of the abdomen, and it crosses the posterior abdominal wall obliquely from the concavity of the duodenum to the hilum of the spleen. It is lying opposite to the level of T12 to L3 vertebrae as it is indicated in the diagram in the side. This is the vertebral level, and the greater part of the gland is retroperitoneal, that is, it is lying behind the lesser sac, and its left extremity is known as the tail, which is lying in the hilum of spleen. Now, shape and size of the pancreas: it is J shaped, it is retorted shaped, and it is being set obliquely. The bowl of retort represents its head, and the stem of the retort represents its neck, body and tail. So this part is the head, this is neck, and this part is the body, and this part is the tail. The length of the pancreas, it's about 12 to 15 centimeters, and width is 3 to 4 centimeter, thickness is 1.5 to 2 centimeter, and the weight is 80 to 90 grams. Now the parts which we have discussed earlier in the slide, there are 4 parts of the pancreas: the head, body, neck and the tail. The head possesses one process known as uncinate process, demarcated in this diagram. Now the relations of the pancreas: at the head, it is enlarged, it is disc shaped right end of the pancreas, it lies in the concavity of the C-shaped duodenal loop in front of the L2 vertebrae. Now the external features of the head of pancreas: it presents 3 borders, that is superior, inferior and right lateral border. So here we can see the head of pancreas, which is lying in the concavity of the duodenum. It is having 3 borders. This is superior, this is inferior, and this is right lateral border of the pancreas. And it has 2 surfaces, the anterior and the posterior surface, and a small hook-like process is emerging out, which is known as uncinate process. Now the superior border of the head of pancreas is related to the first part of the duodenum. So what is the first part of the duodenum? This is the first part of the duodenum. So superiorly it is related to the first part of the duodenum. And the superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, over this superior border one artery is also emerging. This is known as superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. Now come to the inferior border. Inferior border is related to the third part of the duodenum. So here we can see the third part of the duodenum. This is the third part of the duodenum. This C-shaped structure is the duodenum, and this is the inferior third part of the duodenum. And here we have the inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. Now come to the right lateral border, which is related to the gastroduodenal artery, transverse colon, root of the transverse mesocolon and the jejunum. And the posterior surface, which is lying on the posterior abdominal wall, it is related to the IVC, that is inferior vena cava, left renal vein, bile duct. Then uncinate process is related to anterior to the superior mesenteric vessels and posterior to the abdominal aorta. So these are the relations. These are the diagram showing the relations of the head of pancreas. So you just go through it. It's very simple. Now the relations of the neck of pancreas. It is slightly constricted at the constricted part of the gland, which connects the head with the body. and it is about only 2.5 centimeters long, and it is directed forwards and upward and to the left. Now the features of the neck of pancreas are, it has two surfaces, the anterior and the posterior, two borders, that is upper and the lower border, and the relations includes the anterior surface is related to the pylorus, posterior surface is related to the commencement means formation of the portal vein, and the upper border is related to the first part of the duodenum. So here we can see the first part of the duodenum. This is the neck, and here was the first part of the duodenum on the superior border, and posterior surface, here we can see the commencement of this portal vein. This is the portal vein, and here it is forming with the joining of splenic vein, and this is the superior mesenteric vein. Both these veins combine to form the portal vein. So lower border is related to the transverse mesocolon, and this is the lower border. This is the lower border of the neck of pancreas. Here we have the transverse mesocolon. Transverse mesocolon means it is a part of large intestine, so don't confuse. Now to come to the body of pancreas. So these are the relations of the body of pancreas. Now what is body? It is the elongated part of the gland extending from the neck up to the tail, and it passes towards the left of the midline with a slight upward and backward inclination. So this is the upward and the backward inclination, and it lies in front of the vertebral column at or just below the transpyloric plane. And what are the external features of it? It is somewhat triangular in cross section. Cross section means, suppose I have taken, this is the body and I have taken this section, so this is the cross section, or we can say the transverse section of the pancreas, body of pancreas. So in the cross section it appears triangular, so it presents three borders, that is anterior border, superior border and inferior border. So it is just like this. So this is triangular body, and it has three surfaces, the anterior, this is posterior, and this is inferior surface. And it has one process which is emerging from the body. This is known as tuberomantale, and this tuberomantale, it is a part of the body which projects above the lesser curvature of the stomach and comes in contact with lesser omentum. So here we can see the relations of the body of pancreas. Anterior border, I have discussed about the anterior border. So this anterior border, it provides attachment to the root of the transverse mesocolon. So here you can see the attachments, the relations of the body of pancreas. The superior border is attached, related to the root of the transverse mesocolon. What is mesocolon? Mesocolon is a fold of peritoneum. What is peritoneum? Peritoneum is a serous membrane in the abdomen which is enclosing our abdominal viscera. So root of transverse mesocolon means it is the attachment of the fold of peritoneum which is attaching our transverse mesocolon with the posterior abdominal wall. Means this is just a attachment which is attaching the transverse mesocolon with the posterior abdominal wall. So this is, suppose I have drawing the transverse mesocolon. This is transverse mesocolon. Transverse mesocolon is what? It is a large intestine, and this is the posterior abdominal wall. So transverse mesocolon is what? It is the attachment, it is a fold of peritoneum which is connecting the transverse mesocolon with the posterior abdominal wall. This relation is on the body of the pancreas. So we have discussed it now. Now next is the relation on the superior border of the body of pancreas. The superior border is related to the celiac artery and splenic artery. So what are these? This is also marked in the diagram, the splenic artery and the hepatic artery. So these are the vessels which are on the superior border. So you just go through the diagram, this will help you a lot. Then inferior border, it is related to the superior mesenteric artery. So superior mesenteric artery is where? Here we can see the superior mesenteric artery on the inferior border. Vessels mean artery and vein. So it is very simple, don't confuse. Then come to the tail of the pancreas. It is the narrow left extremity of the pancreas. It lies in the lienorenal ligament along with splenic vessels. And now what is lienorenal ligament? It is again a fold of peritoneum which is attaching the tail of pancreas with the hilum of spleen. So this is the lienorenal ligament. It is mobile unlike the other major retroperitoneal parts of the gland. It contains the largest number of the islets of Langerhans per unit of the tissues as compared to other glands. So the relation, it is related to the visceral surface of the spleen between the gastric impression and the colic impression. So the relation of tail of pancreas is very simple because it is embedded in the spleen, hilum of spleen. So here we can see the relations of the different parts of the pancreas. So this is the combined diagram for showing you the relations of different parts of the pancreas. Now the ducts of pancreas. So usually there are two ducts. One is the main, other is accessory, which drain the exocrine secretion into the duodenum. So all the secretions of the pancreas, they are in the duodenum. So first is the major pancreatic duct. It is the major pancreatic duct of Wirsung, and it begins in the tail and it traverses the whole length of the gland near its posterior surface. At the neck, it turns downward and then to the right to enter into the second part of the duodenum. Here we can see the main duct, that is the duct of Wirsung. It's starting from this point, that is from the tail, crosses the body, then at the neck it runs downwards and then forwards to enter into the second part of the duodenum. Here it joins the bile duct which pierces the duodenal wall to form hepatopancreatic ampulla of Witter. So देखिए यहाँ पे here your main duct is combining with the bile duct, and here they form a dilatation which is known as hepatopancreatic ampulla. When two ducts are combining, it is forming a dilated part. This is known as hepatopancreatic ampulla. And this, it receives the tributaries of the smaller ducts throughout its length at right angle to its long axis in a herringbone pattern. So this main duct is receiving some smaller ducts also, and this pattern of ducts is known as herringbone pattern because of its shape. This kind of bone is found in a herringbone fish. Herring is a fish, that is why the bone pattern is known as herringbone pattern. So next is your accessory pancreatic duct, and it is known as duct of Santorini. It begins in the lower part of the head and runs upwards and medially, crossing the front of the main pancreatic duct. So in the diagram we can see the lower part of the head is drained by the accessory pancreatic duct. So this is your accessory pancreatic duct. It is running upwards and it is draining with a separate opening in the second part of the duodenum, and at the opening it forms a dilated part known as minor duodenal papilla. Now the arterial supply of the pancreas, it is supplied by the splenic artery, branches from the splenic artery as well as from the branches of superior and inferior pancreatic or duodenal artery. So you should remain only the names of the arteries which are supplying to your pancreas. So this is the arterial supply of the pancreas. Then this is the venous drainage. Venous drainage means all the venous blood that will be drained by the portal vein, superior and the splenic vein, superior mesenteric vein and splenic vein. Then the lymphatic drainage, the lymph from the pancreas enters into the celiac nodes, pancreatic or splenic lymph nodes, superior mesenteric nodes and the pyloric nodes. These nodes are located very close to the pancreas. So you should remember only the names of these lymph nodes. Then the nerve supply, the sympathetic and parasympathetic, both nerve fibers are reaching to the pancreas to supply it. The sympathetic nerve supply is vasomotor and the parasympathetic nerve supply is controlling the pancreatic secretions. The sympathetic nerve supply and the parasympathetic nerve supply, they are from the celiac and the superior mesenteric plexus. These are the plexus, these are the network of nerves which are found in the abdominal region. From there they are supplying to the pancreas. Now the clinical anatomy. First is the carcinoma of the head of pancreas, which is very common. It is compresses the bile duct, which is leading to the persistent obstructive jaundice, because there is obstruction of the bile duct in case of the cancer of the pancreas, head of pancreas. That is why it will lead to the obstruction of the bile duct, and this will result into jaundice. It may press the portal vein or may involve the stomach due to close vicinity of these structures to the head of pancreas. Acute pancreatitis is the acute inflammation of the pancreas. Second is the pancreatitis. So it occurs due to obstruction of the pancreatic duct, ingestion of alcohol, or viral infection, or trauma. Then it is serious condition because activated pancreatic enzyme leak into the substance of the pancreas and initiates the autodigestion of the gland. Clinically, it presents a very severe pain in the epigastric region radiating to the back, fever, nausea, and vomiting. Now the questions which can be asked in your exams related to this topic. First is write short note on duct system of the pancreas, and so in this you have to mention about the main and the accessory pancreatic duct, their opening, their pattern of draining. Then the second question is the blood supply of the pancreas, so in this you have to discuss about the arterial as well as venous supply of the pancreas. Then this is the exercise for your file. You have to draw this diagram and label all the structures which are marked in this diagram, and use colors also. Use only pencil colors which are given in this diagram. So this completes our topic, the anatomy of the pancreas. Thank you.